Hello, everyone. Welcome to Round 7 of Grand Prix Albuquerque. I'm Brian David Marshall. I'm here with Pro Tour Hall of Famer Randy Buehler, and we are watching Josh Utter-Leyton, certainly on my short list for the Hall of Fame in a few years, versus Pro Tour Hall of Famer Patrick Chapin. Patrick Chapin leads off with an Elvish Mystic off of an overgrown tomb.
So these players are playing. Nice trolls.
Patrick
the
slides
I played against a Hall of Famer button gets slid across. Josh is probably, someday, he'll be sliding him in the other direction.
He's not eligible for several more years.
Fair.
His debut is 2007.
Nice. So these players are playing basically the same deck. They're both playing a green-black mid-range deck, which, I mean, as day one starts to evolve, really may be kind of the deck of the weekend. Certainly the new deck, the new color combination of the weekend. Patrick led with an Elvish Mystic. Now here's Thoughtseize. He sees Abrupt Decay. Is that a Dreadmangler?
Looks like a Dreadmangler.
A couple lands and something shiny.
And a bright white light.
I don't know how important it is to take away bright light. Yeah, Abrupt Decay. Pretty good card in this matchup.
Looks like it might be two Dreadmanglers, actually. Shocks himself again. He's at 16. 14.
I see he has an additional Thoughtseize if he wants to go that way, but I think he's going Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, there's Dreadmangler. Comes into play tapped.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the Boon Satyr.
But
It's got two of them now, right?
yeah. But,
Wow. So
two,
Pat
two
can
is
go.
also the number of lands that Patrick has to work
He's
with.
got the
here,
Mystic.
But he does have the Mystic.
He's going to go Thoughtseize
Yep.
and
Take
get
it.
the other Mangler.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Josh is down to the two lands.
But Patrick's at 9. And Dreadmangler is, quite likely going to be scavenged onto a Dreadmangler at some point here.
Yes. Scavenging Ooze attacks. Well, Scavenging Ooze is going to eat
no, it's not
it.
going to happen. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
Scavenging Ooze, I thought. Wow. Scavenge cost on Dreadmangler is 5?
Yeah,
5.
Unless you have a Varels in play, and in which case it's 3. He draws another.
Jeez. All right, Lot Left Troll's got to get busy here, right? Block with Lot Left Troll, discard a creature, trade, and then eat the Dreadmanglers. Pat can't afford to just take 6. He's got to block with Lot Left Troll. It's too bad he doesn't have the black mana to regenerate. I guess if he discards 3 creatures, he can survive the fight.
Yeah, he's just.
Yeah,
gonna
you
do
discard 1 and trade. That seems right.
And he's just going to make an impossibly big
Scavenging
Ooze.
Ooze,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, Josh is definitely threatening to scavenge the Dreadmanglers next turn. So Scavenging Ooze has got some work to do.
He can also, sort of doesn't have to do it until he can exactly.
He can respond. He can
Yeah.
pay the mana, and then he can respond by eating it. Yeah, Pat's asking the judge exactly that. He wants to make sure he understands the timing. So he's 2 mana
yes.
2/2s. Pat doesn't have a ton of experience with 2 mana 2/2s. Definitely has to confirm that he understands how this thing works. Well, he's going to go ahead and eat them now. And Pat's got
Boon Satyr, and
Hero's
Demise.
Downfall?
Yeah, Hero's Downfall, yeah. So
Right.
I keep wanting to call Demise.
4/4 Scavenging Ooze decides to play defense. Oh, no, I see. He's tapping Elvish Mystic to eat another creature, getting the Scavenging Ooze up to 5/5, and then he's attacking with it. Mangler crunches over for 3. Josh ships the turn. Another Thoughtseize. We do not know the card in Josh's hand. Pat doesn't know it either. But the 2 life, to take a look, hasn't run out of food for the Ooze yet. So that's 6.
Josh would love an Abrupt Decay.
Drew Boon Satyr. Josh is got to keep fighting. Oh, if Pat doesn't block here, he gets blown out. Did he take it? Did he just get bestowed for 7? Oh, he can eat. Okay.
He has the hero's demise.
There you go. Boone Sater does so many things. Didn't quite work out that time, but I think Josh was just happy to have a chance to like force Pat to still have something. All right, so Scavenging Ooze is lethal if it doesn't get blocked. Boone Sater steps in the way. And, Polukranos. Good luck.
Or as I like to call it, Pakula knows.
Pakula knows? Nice. Well, Pat Chapin knows. Pat Chapin knows how to win that game.
Yeah.
Up a game. He was on the draw, but he had the Mystic. The Mystic seemed like it got him off to the races.
Yes.
I mean, basically, he tore his opponent's hand apart with Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
Right? The 2 Thoughtseize is he paid a bunch of life, but Josh basically got a Dreadmangler into play. Scavenging Ooze ate the ones that went to the graveyard, and
there you get a look at Patrick Chapin doing the old school style of sideboarding.
He shuffled all 15 in?
He just jammed all 15 cards in there, and now he's pulling 15 cards out.
I mean, it's particularly important when your opponent knows your deck list.
Right.
Like these guys, if they don't know the card for card sideboards, they're close. I mean, they both basically have Kibler's version of this deck. All right, and like you said, though, Josh has a couple experiment ones in his sideboard. If he wants to go a little more aggro, he has the ability to do that.
I don't know if that's correct or not here.
I mean, Regeneration is relevant, right?
Right.
I got to think Doomblades come in. Ultimate Price probably comes in. Does it kill it? Yeah, it kills the Ooze, kills the Satyrs, kills Polukranos. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. You've got a deck that can play either as a beatdown deck or as a control deck. Like, I don't know, like, do you sideboard it one way or the other?
Right. Yeah,
or do you just try to sideboard it, like, just a slightly slower than the way your opponent sideboarded it?
Interestingly, both decks also have Gift of Orzhova, which lets you go over the top of one of these decks.
Right.
You know, if you bring that in and they don't.
It's risky though when there's so much removal in your opponent's deck.
Sure, but again, you do have Thoughtseize. You do have the ability to set that up and know what's going on. I mean, one crack with a Gift of Orzhova creature is gonna.
I feel like you're asking to get 2 for 1. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I think that the place where Gift is really going to shine is against the green creature decks.
Sure.
Like green or green splash red. You get these kind of slightly clunky big creature decks where, yeah, you just want to go over. But, I mean, your opponent has Abrupt Decay and Hero's Downfall and maybe brought in Doomblades. No, I'm genuinely curious to see how these guys sideboard. We talk about the evolution of this format. It feels like Chapin's Pro Tour deck is part of that story too. Like the Orzhov deck that Pat ran and that Paul Rietzel wound up making the top 8 with.
It's almost a forgotten deck.
I know, right, exactly. I think it's, of the decks that showed up at the Pro Tour, it's almost the only one that faded away.
Right.
Right. The blue has hung around. Black Devotion has become an even bigger player. Esper has continues to be a player.
And really, that was a fascinating deck to me.
It was.
Because
it was bizarre.
It was exactly.
I mean, you're like, I've got Precinct Captain in a deck with Hero's Downfall? Really?
Yeah.
I'm playing Orzhov Guildgate? But I mean, just all the individual cards for that weekend, it was a really good call. Like, all the cards in that deck were just better than the cards everybody else was playing with and set them up really, really well. I was talking to those guys earlier today, though, and they missed one card, I think. I think Patrick, if he could go back, if you take the Precinct Captains out and you put Pack Rats in the deck instead, like, the deck is just a lot better. Like, part of the reason I think that deck has gone away is that Black Devotion can touch white. Like, sometimes you'll see some of the Black Devotion players, Pack Rats and whatnot, maybe they go in for Soldier of the Pantheon. But yeah, the Precinct Captain was what made the mana so hard. The WW off the Precinct Captain.
Right.
Like, Black Touch White, you can have Obsidian if you want it. You can have Blood Baron is super well positioned.
Right. And Pack Rat's become almost identified with Black Devotion.
Right.
But it doesn't need to be.
Right. No, that Orzhov deck, if they could go back to the Pro Tour, I think they would just, if they had Pack Rats instead of Precinct Captains, the deck would have just been better. And it's like, that realization means that, like, there's not a good reason left to play that version of the deck. All right, off to the races in game 2. This time, Josh gets to go first and play Elvish Mystic.
Ooh, that's like 2 time walks.
That's definitely the way you want to start. He did have to pay 2 life for this privilege, but
Guild Gate for Patrick.
no, attack for 1 is not what Mystic wants to do on turn 3. This Pat, you kill the elf. Yeah,
Yes.
Doomblade, get that off the table.
Blade the elf.
You didn't have anything to do with 3 mana. Let's keep you on 3 mana. Oh, it was a Guild Gate. He couldn't get to 3 anyway.
Yeah.
Dreadmangler comes over.
Smashes into the zone formerly known as the red zone. And it looks like a Dreadmangler on the other side of the table, but Patrick's just going to say go.
Yeah,
And this is what we're
beat
talking
down
about.
versus control.
Right, exactly.
You and I have very different ways of approaching this whole mangling thing.
Patrick just said you and I have very different ways of approaching this mangling thing. So, second mangler for Josh, and Patrick trades with one of them.
Yeah, a lot less troll for Pat. That seems like a good card, good creature here. Assuming he's got another creature in his hand, he's set up
He
to.
does. He can
he's
also,
set up to block,
he
regenerate.
can also Reaper here. Should he be able to cast a Reaper? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think you block regen,
Yeah.
and presumably he has a creature to discard. And even the threat of that means Josh seems unlikely to attack here unless he's got something. Looks like he's got a Boon Satyr. Looks like he's got a Reaper.
So I saw a tweet from Patrick earlier. He's like, I think I am 6-0 in constructed with this combination of colors for the first time in many, many years.
Since probably survival recur, maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that would be when. So in comes.
All right, so
Dreadmangler.
Dreadmangler's attacking, which is interesting because Pat is set up to block, discard a creature, regenerate, and Josh knows that, and Pat knows that Josh knows, but he's still got to, right? I mean, I guess Josh can respond with a Golgari charm, but he doesn't. All right, yeah, block, regenerate. Oh, abrupt decay. So that'll eat the regeneration shield?
Yep.
No, he did it in response to the
He's doing it in
regeneration shield.
response to the regeneration shield, kills it.
Yep,
And here comes
that was a good play from Josh.
the fatties.
It's time. Yeah, Josh did not have a 4th land. He got his elf killed, and he doesn't have 4 lands,
So
but
they
Pat
know
does.
actually we're gonna get
Scavenging Ooze. Well, interesting.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, there's certainly some Dreadmanglers floating around some graveyards.
but they're not floating anywhere close.
Yeah, Josh doesn't
to
have 5
surfacing.
mana. Right. So that was Scavenging Ooze over Reaper? Did he have a Reaper in his hand?
Yeah, that's a Reaper of the Wilds. Yeah.
That is surprising to me. Because he can't eat 2 creatures either. Like, he can't make a 4/4 Scavenging Ooze. So the best he can do with Scavenging Ooze is trade with Dreadmangler. Maybe that's good enough? Doesn't really want to take 3, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know why that wasn't a Reaper. Josh has no hesitation to play his Reaper.
Patrick climbs to 11, eats a Dreadmangler out of Josh's yard, which is threatening to scavenge next turn.
Yeah, I think
should he find a land.
Is Pat maybe hoping to have hexproof mana up before he plays the Reaper?
That may be.
It's 2 to hexproof though, right? It doesn't seem like you have that much time. Well, Pat can now make a 4/4 Scavenging Ooze, so he can block the Mangler, but no, he goes for Reaper now. Okay, fair enough.
But he feels very out of sync here with the flow of this game.
Yeah, no, it just felt like the turn he played Scavenging Ooze, an 8/1 creature, was just not a super efficient use of his mana.
Right.
Like, I always start out saying, okay, what's the most efficient way to spend all my mana?
Josh's Reaper can get Death Touch here.
Yep.
Patrick's can't.
Right.
Yeah, he could double block, but that doesn't seem great.
No, I think Pat's block is Reaper blocks Mangler.
Oh, is that a gift of Orzova in Josh Utter-Leyton's
Is it really?
hand?
Apparently I was wrong. I will certainly concede that point. If Josh says it's right to sideboard it in, I'm not going to argue with him. Wow, Mangler to the air, attack. Death Touch is only 1 mana, right?
What's that?
Death Touch is only 1 mana on Reaper?
Yes.
It's 2 for Hexproof and 1 for Death Touch?
Yeah.
So he can send the Mangler to the air and attack with Reaper with Death Touch mana up.
He also has Boon Satyr in hand.
He's got some options. He's got the 5th land, too. Came off the top of the deck this turn.
So he's just going to attack.
Just Reaper.
Oh.
Bestows Boon Satyr onto it to hit for 9.
And then next turn.
8.
Yeah, next turn, anything can fly over.
Yep. Now he's definitely set up to win next turn with Gift.
You know, Patrick wants to sit back now. He's like, oh, I guess I've got a Death Touch, or maybe I've got to play a Lotleth Troll, or... Is that a Varels in his hand?
Well, it needs to be a way to kill a flying creature.
He doesn't know this yet, though.
That's why I'm talking softly.
Lessons learned the hard way from Randy and BDM.
Exactly. Pat ships the turn with 5 untapped mana.
So he's hoping to use his Boon Satyr to...
Got it. Yeah, I didn't get a good look at what's in his hand.
Yeah.
You think it's Boon Satyr, Varals, and something else?
Yeah, maybe a Lotleth Troll. Maybe another Varels.
Thought Seize from Josh.
Boy.
That seems good. Yeah, that did not take long. Took 2 seconds to get that out.
So it's a pair of Varels and
Just show him the gift.
Is that an
That's
ultimate
game.
price? Yeah.
How about we go to game 3, Pat? Oh. Pat's thinking to himself, am I supposed to sign in Gift of Orzova? Seemed pretty good right there.
Yeah.
Time to go get all 15 cards
And
and
so-
shuffle them in again.
Josh, what does your deck do? Well, it takes this big basket of eggs and flings it at their opponent.
Yeah, Pat definitely went back to his sideboard. Got some cards.
Didn't jam all 15 in this time, though.
No, he didn't.
There we get a look at Josh Utter-Leyton, Platinum Pro. 77.
He had a good year.
77.
Yeah, that was quite the year.
Already at 22 pro points for this season, which is
Sure.
phenomenal. 4 top 8s, the Grand Prix top 8s, the Player of the Year title, 2 national teams. Not someone you're ever going to be surprised about. And you say, oh, and Josh Utter-Leyton won a Pro Tour. You're like, oh yeah, that makes
Of
sense.
course. He's got 4 PT top 8s already?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think
Have you got so many of those super good players are struggling to get any PT top 8s.
right. And this is someone who, and again, 2007's his debut. So he's,
Very
What?
impressive.
4 seasons away here. I don't know how the staggered seasons work with that, but
Oh, sure.
say, 3 years minimum away from being Hall of Fame eligible. And I would have him penciled in with that class right now, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not even clear he needs to add to his resume, right?
Right. Patrick's in the Hall of Fame, 4 Pro Tour top 8s.
Right.
Very similar resumes for these 2 players, other than Raptors.
Raptors on the same ballot? Is that true?
No, it's Raptors.
Yeah. Of course.
2017.
17, sorry.
Yeah. Similar resumes other than kind of tenure, right? Because Patrick's been around for forever.
Absolutely. I think Patrick's also been a fixture. They both certainly do their share of content creation, but Patrick sort of accumulate more point accumulation for content over the course of 20 years or something.
Are both of these guys in your sort of regular reading rotation?
Oh, for sure.
How much Magic content do you consume on a weekly basis? All of it?
I don't read there's a lot out there. I'm not. I think Aaron Forsythe actually reads like everything.
No, Aaron Forsythe is always.
I'm not Aaron, not quite.
Aaron's insane because you'll see him at an event, and
Mm-hmm.
some guy will come up to him and say, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." And he's like, "I'm Bob Smith." And he's like, "Oh, Bob Smith, you wrote that limerick about magic for that obscure limerick magic website."
Exactly.
And the guy will always be just like flabbergasted by that, right? Yeah, Aaron doesn't miss anything about magic.
Right. I mean, I guess I read the stuff that's relevant to the Pro Tour, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I definitely view Magic through the lens of competitive organized play, like Pro Tours, Grand Prix.
You don't
Those
do
are
a
the
lot
stories.
of magic limerick reading?
I do not dabble much in the Magic limericks, no.
Okay, so it sounds like both of our players are keeping their opening hands, and we're underway with a Guildgate from Patrick and a Forest Elvish Mystic from Josh Utter-Leyton. See, I think Thoughtseize is going to come in here. Let me see. Hero's Downfall, Reaper of the Wilds, and then a lot of mana.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a draw that's vulnerable to being thought seized. Yeah, you take the Reaper. He's got a removal spell and a bunch of mana.
And yep, not what you want to see your turn 2 elf doing, attacking.
Definitely. And although that's what Josh did with it last game.
Yeah.
It really does feel like Josh has made his deck into more of a beatdown deck, and Patrick's made his deck into more of a control deck.
And we're going to Abrupt Decay an elf here.
Interesting.
You cannot counter that.
Do you hit that elf when you know his hand is all lands?
I guess he's just looking to get set up behind his Reaper.
Sure.
So he knows
He
that
gets a
one's gonna
downfall
die,
here,
yeah.
right?
But Patrick's holding another one, I believe.
Sure. Still might have slow rolled. I guess you need 6 before you have hexproof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. Bait with one, lead, and then play the other. Although that one maybe he has the 6th land, right? I might have waited there and just gone Boon Satyr.
Right, you can end of turn Boon Satyr.
End of turn Boon Satyr, then play Reaper with hexproof mana untapped. But Josh did not top deck the removal spell he needed, so.
Does have his Lotleth Troll. And a Dreadmangler that he's reserving for later.
Well, attacking doesn't do much here with the regenerating troll on defense. So they're kind of stalemated. You know what Pat could really use here? Gift of Orzova.
Yeah, it looks like another Hero's Downfall for Josh.
Well, his window to point it at Reaper is probably closed.
Yeah.
Dreadmangler doesn't do anything.
Although if Patrick got end of turn and Boon Satyrs, for 5 mana.
He's not going to tap out to end of turn bestow it. I don't think. Still doesn't get through Lotleth Troll. All right, Mangler got discarded and scavenged. So 6 power Lotleth Troll that still regenerates.
Interesting.
Now what's Pat's play? Now he might be thinking about that Boon Satyr bestow. With Josh down to 1 mana, it's a lot safer.
Josh is like, I heard you like to play control.
Yeah, so he pays 5 to bestow the Boon Satyr onto the Reaper. Josh can't kill it as response off 1 mana, so Pat's safe. Land for Patrick.
This is definitely just a staring contest at this point.
Yeah, it's 2 large monsters, some assembly required, staring across the field at each other. Is that Pelucranos?
Yes, it is.
That seems like a good play.
I don't know that Lucanos is going to have how much mana he's going to have to ever kill a Reaper of the Wild, but
They might get big enough to trade for one in combat, though.
yeah, not fair.
Yeah, so 4 mana for Pelucranos. He's got Hero's Downfall mana available in case he gets a window.
Right. If Patrick put another Boon Satyr on
Right.
it here. Or
Pretty interesting game 3. Winner gets to be 7-0.
oh,
There
and
it
that
is.
looks like Gift of Orzhova.
Yes,
for Patrick
indeed.
Chapin.
To the
He's
air.
got double hexproof mana available.
Whack. So what is that? 9 power?
Yeah.
Flying,
Lifelink.
lifelink, hexproof.
Death Touch, if you want it.
11, 26.
Wow. Both these sideboarded games are just going to be who draws the first gift. I wasn't thinking about the Reaper's hexproof making it such an awesome gift target. But definitely.
And the regeneration of
Lotless Troll. Yeah,
also.
that's true. Good point.
It is going to be tough for Josh to find a way out of
Yeah,
this.
what's his play? He needs a gift. I don't know what else he can do, right? If he can get Lotless Troll into the air, then okay. I don't think he can't race. There's too much lifelink. He can't kill it with Pelucranos, barring like Channel coming off the top of his deck. I mean, I don't know if he brought Golgari Charms in. Maybe he could blow up an enchantment. Oh, he can Abrupt Decay to kill the gift.
Sure. And that's something Patrick has to be aware of.
Right. Doesn't have many turns to draw these answers, though.
No, he does not.
How about 9 more in the air? And there's the
Oh.
Abrupt Decay. I didn't even see it. So that
He's holding
hits the gift, and now Lotless Troll gets to block and regenerate. Lotless Troll is 6 power. Oh, is that actually big enough to kill the Reaper?
No, the Reaper's 7 toughness right
7
now.
toughness?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 7 toughness.
Here comes a Dreg Mangler into play untapped.
He can... I mean, he could Monstrous Pelucranos, but Pat still has hexproof mana to get the last point in.
Right.
It's a 7 toughness guy that's taking 6 damage, but Pat's not going to tap out. He's also got the Hero's Downfall. If he Pelucranoses and Pat... No, Pat could double hexproof, so... Monstrous Ping gets countered, and then the Hero's Downfall would also get countered. It was close. Like, Josh was almost able to create a window there. All right, now what? Are they back to staring at each other across the board? Seems like Pelucranos is probably capable of doing something relevant here. So it can turn itself into an 8/8 and kill the Dread Mangler if it wanted to.
I think
Josh has a window to attack here.
I
Like
think
there's
he has a
only
window to attack with just one guy, though. I think he just has the window to attack with
Pelucranos, leave
and
Lotless
then-
Troll on defense.
Yeah, and
Plausible.
then maybe play a Dreg Mangler post-combat. Or he's going to play a
Well, if he's got
pre-combat.
Dread Mangler, he may as well attack with it.
Yeah.
Pat wants to trade. I think he's okay with that. I think. If he clears a path. No, what if he Hero's
he
Downfalls the Dread Mangler? Oh, he dies to scavenge
He-
and attack back.
Yeah, he's going to die to scavenging on the way back.
I mean, because he
Yeah.
could win in 2 attacks, but Pat will win in 1 if Dread Mangler dies.
Yeah.
These are some large monsters.
Judge telling him, sorry, I need you to make a play. Been sitting here for a little while. And
All right,
there's the
summons a Dread Mangler and attacks. Leave the Lotless Troll back on defense. So he's offering Patrick the ability to trade Dread Manglers if Pat wants to. And Josh is trusting that his Lotless Troll can play good enough defense to
Right.
not die next turn.
that he won't have to regenerate it to an abrupt decay or.
Right. And Patrick says, I accept. We can trade. Pat would only have 2 mana to work with. Yeah, an Abrupt Decay wins Pat the game. Reaper, of course, lets people are dying. Pat gets to scry. Yeah, that's the other bad part about that exchange from Josh's point of view is that
Yeah.
Pat gets to scry twice. I think Abrupt Decay wins it. So does Gift.
Oh, there's a nice little wrinkle.
What was it?
That is a scavenging ooze
Oh, my.
for Patrick. So
Okay. Scavenging Ooze. Now, I mean, Josh still has Hero's Downfall on his
Right.
hand.
and he's really looking for a window here where he can do that.
Yep. So Pat has 5 mana. He could tap out the Scavenge Mangler. I don't think he'll do that.
Yeah, it seems.
He could eat some stuff with Ooze. That makes sense. Probably eating the Mangler or threatening to eat it as a response to activating its Scavenge ability. Yeah, play your Forest. That makes sense. It's not worth bluffing when the mana is so relevant. So the Scavenging Ooze, the Mangler's gone. Scavenging Ooze is 3/3. And Pat,
He
there's no
can't-
attack there.
Yeah, he can't attack there.
Not with Lotless Troll on defense. Draws
that looks like
a
an abrupt.
spell.
That looks like an abrupt decay
Interesting.
for Josh.
Which can get either the Boon Satyr or the Scavenging Ooze.
Getting the Boon Satyr is kind of interesting here.
Uh-huh. Because Hero's Downfall can get the Scavenging Ooze. He can knock that Pat down to just the Reaper. But then
Just
what?
the
Well,
Reaper.
right, exactly. He's also still got the ability to make an 8/8 Pelucranos.
Right. He can just. Well, he can also just attack the Pelucranos in.
Death Touch.
Yeah, I'm saying, but he can just let those guys
Trade.
kill each other with the help of. Let's see, what do we got here? Oh no, it was Varels.
Wasn't Abrupt Decay.
We have 2.
Varels is going to force Pat to spend some mana. Eating the rest of the creatures in Josh's graveyard. Okay. Still can make Hexproof. Still has enough mana to go Hexproof once. And Death Touch once.
And he's still holding.
Josh has a Hero's Downfall. Pat has
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, I'm not even sure who's favored long term here. I mean, it feels like Josh has more stuff going on,
Right.
but Patrick's the one who gets to scry every time something dies. I mean, that's very close to card drawing in this situation. Like, neither player really wants more land.
Right, yeah, you
Josh
never
is
want
gonna
to see
draw
another
his.
land from this point on.
Josh gets to draw his. Patrick can scry some number of them to the bottom. So it's almost draw a card.
Half a card.
Yeah, it's like draw half a card. Not by that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dread Mangler coming back.
Yep.
All right.
Scavenges it onto the Reaper.
Lotless Troll still holding that off. Now, does Josh want to downfall the Ooze, I think is what he's thinking about. He's not going to Pelucranos for 1 here, so it's a question of whether he uses his mana to downfall the Ooze, and he does.
He realizes at this point he's never going to get a window to downfall.
Exactly. And he would like to spend all of his mana on Pelucranos at some point, so this is... I didn't see what the draw phase was.
And now his Varels is live if he can get some cards into his graveyard. And
All right, so the Reaper is now 10 toughness and 11 power. Yes, I think
no,
it's...
more than that, right? It's 4-2 on the Boon Satyr.
Yeah, 4 + 4 + 3 is 11. Yeah, it's 11-10, right?
It should be 11-9, I think. Oh, no,
Well, it
11-10.
starts at a
You're right.
4-5.
Yeah,
It's
11-10.
11-10.
You're right. Yeah.
Which Pelucranos can no longer trade with thanks to those 3 counters. So, I mean, he can't even attack in with Pelucranos willing to trade because Pelucranos can only get to 8-8.
And Josh kind of like on the I need a Gift of Varzova line here. And I need to send my Pelucranos over for 6 and gain some life and block.
Patrick immediately wins the game with Gift. That's Golgari Charm,
Yes.
which doesn't do all that much here.
But would kill a Gift of Varzova.
Would kill a Gift of Varzova.
Reaper of the Wild's kind of interesting here.
Is that what Josh drew?
Maybe.
That would be a good draw.
Oh, he discards Reaper of the Wild.
Wow. He wants to attack with that Lotleth Troll. Now he's got an 11 power attacker with regeneration. Wow, that's a good play. He doesn't want Reaper in play. He wants 5 more counters on Lotleth Troll. That's super smart. Right? He wins in 2 attacks.
Yeah.
And all Pat can do is chump block because of the regeneration.
Right.
That's a nice line. I didn't see that coming. That's why he's got the little 2 next to his name, huh?
Yeah, that is exactly what that 2 means. 2 with a bullet. Now Patrick is. Wow.
I'm not sure what blocking does. Doesn't he take it once?
He's
He
at the
regenerates with Golgari Charm, sure. That works. Right, so he soaks up the damage. Now he needs to top deck a gift. Or, I mean, he needs to top deck something. Can't even be that many outs, right? Lotleth Troll. That's a good draw. Now he can block. Jeez. We're stalemated again. Patrick gets to attack here.
He has to consider an attack here, right?
Yeah. There's no regenerator on defense. He absolutely. I think he just should
the Varels
attack.
can regenerate, but it comes at the cost of a creature.
Right. He's gonna eat a creature if he attacks.
Yeah. And then he can play his troll
To block the giant thing.
Yeah.
He can afford to take Pelucranos and Varels. Lotleth Troll was a good draw. I mean, he doesn't break the stalemate, but it gets Pat an attack. Plays the Lotleth Troll first. Is he not going to attack
Troll
here?
does have trample.
Oh, never mind.
The tricky
Right.
part of all this.
Of course. Does not block. All right, so we're basically right back where we were last time. Josh has a giant Lotleth Troll that he's attacking with.
And that he's going to continue to attack
It
with.
is 11 power trample. Pat can take 1 hit from it, and then he's going to be forced to block with all the toughness that's been piled up on that Reaper of the Wild. Throwing away Lotleth Troll doesn't do much.
Well, he gets to regenerate it. But
I mean, he soaks up. If he's
1
not
point
playing
of
it, sure.
damage.
Soaks up 1, and then he can save the chump block for next turn. Yeah, that's probably right. There's no reason for him to throw away Reaper before he takes as many draws at a gift as possible. He also gets a scry for his trouble. Oh, he chose not to regenerate so that he could scry? Interesting. That's kind of clever.
And there's a Mystic.
Chose not to regenerate so that he would get a scry, so that he could ship Mystic to the bottom, so that he could draw basic swamp. Wah wah.
And that looks like game.
Yeah, he loses to an Alpha Strike now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, his play seemed pretty reasonable. Josh is going to give him a turn. It's reasonable.
Well,
Josh attacks, Pat blocks, Josh regenerates.
Josh remembers to regenerate. Not sure.
No, I don't think there's an out.
He's got a scavenging ooze, but that's just not going to do it.
Doesn't seem like it's enough. It's enough to overwhelm that Pelucranos. Can only Pelucranos for 3 here. He's 1 mana away from. Yeah, Josh is just trying to imagine what that last card in Pat's hand could possibly be, and is it relevant, and he's probably struggling to come up with something. May as well think through his options, though. Pat gained enough life to buy 1 turn.
I mean, maybe buy himself 1 turn, but that turn's going to involve all of his creatures dying.
Right, right. I mean, Pelucranos is just going to kill Boonsatyr here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Time for Pelucranos' turn to go monstrous. Kill that. I promise to attack next turn. Do you scoop?
Even my Alpha is going to attack this turn.
An abrupt decay for good measure.
Patrick, though, gains a life.
That will do it. There's the hand. Josh Utter-Leyton, ladies and
7-0.
gentlemen. Moves to 7-0. Found that really clever line with the Reaper. Discards it to the Troll. Scavenges it back thanks to Verils to create the giant 11-10 trampling, regenerating lot.